Let's hop in. If 228 wins this is going to be the last game of the series. QQ has got to take this one and the next one to win. So we're dropping in. Let's see how it goes. Round 4, 600-ton skirmish drop. It's going to be a little bit lighter than the first one.
Now,
it's QQ's burden to push.
Now, last time QQ took Thunderbolts and, well, it was Thunderbolts and Fire Starters, medium pulse lasers, and they were able to out-kite Merc Star's Street Crows. I'm sure 228 saw that. Yeah, 228 saw that, and I can already see most likely to suck in a Nova. There's
lots of
Pisces, Novas. Wow.
All Novas and Storm Crows. Is that it? Just Novas, Storm Crows, and 2 Fire Starters or something like that. Whereas QQ is like all Thunderbolts and Fire Starters. Yet again, we're gonna see the Wub drop deck. So wow, full Wubs versus what does wow, ER Smalls. All ER Smalls. This is gonna be a brawl.
This is going to be a hell of a brawl.
Oh, I am so excited for this. Dude, ladies and gentlemen, this is the kind of round you can only hope for. The only ECM on the field is one Hellbringer from QQ, it looks like. And wow, this is just going to be a total hairball. Excited to see this. Novas versus Thunderbolts. I think the Novas might have an advantage, I
gotta say that as well. They put out a hell of a lot of DPS. How many lasers do they have on each arm? Are they running 5 or 6?
6 ER small, and I don't know. I like the 10 small pulse better than the 12 ER small, but they're both pretty damn effective. So
I remember when clans first came out, I was running 12 ER smalls and 4 machine guns and just chewing the crap out of armor, anything in my way. They are glass cannons and they go down quickly if they're focused, but if you can go unperturbed, you're just going to kill whatever you're staring at.
Yep. Well, we're going to get in on Morgan as QQ pushes to the right here. I assume either he or Carp is the drop commander, so. Taking a pause while everybody gets grouped up. And green light, they're going. Oh no, they're doing a little bit of trading. Peter, 2,000 down to 77% in that Nova. Somebody cored out from behind too.
Yeah, Blade Sprint snuck up around panic button and just hit him in the back.
Wow, Green down to 70 and he's legged. QQ getting a lot of good trades. Those Fire Starters doing work. Aggressively pushing those guys kind of isolated over on the right side. Panic button, especially. Oh, Street Crows. I see Street Crows. Rygat almost down. He's going to go down in like one more shot. He's down to 50, and he's dead. Those Street Crows just absolutely deadly. He did not use the buildings. And QQ's push sort of stalled out in those buildings, and now...
Yeah, I gotta say, drop deck wise, I would certainly put the edge towards 228 this time. Last time MS went almost exclusively Street Crows, and QQ was able to, you know, just kite them. But now you've got a bunch of Novas to worry about, and you can't really.
Queen Blade almost down in that Nova.
Although we've got 2 Novas taking out Quicksilver and his Thunderbolt. That's a Thunderbolt down for QQ.
Advantage is 228. They're up by 2 mechs, but they've got a lot of leg Novas, and Floff takes one down. 5-6 now.
And I was talking about how delicate Novas are. It's those legs that are just paper.
Yep, QQ all sort of stranded down here in the water, and I think they need to push. They cannot afford to get down here and get surrounded. They have to make a decisive move in one direction, but I don't know that they're going to do it.
But unfortunately, they can't push indiscriminately because they have those Street Crows to worry about as well. If you get too close...
And Floff is legged. Yep, this definitely looks like it's going to go 228's way. Those Fire Starters can pull it off. It'd be a miracle.
It's what, 2 Thunderbolts and 3 Fire Starters left for 228th?
They got a
scratch that.
Crowd, yeah.
One Thunderbolt left. Oh, they're dead. Wow. that was fast and furious, and a win for 228th. They take the match, 3-1.
And the series. So that was a hell of a brawl, just like we expected. It was good to see. It really looked like QQ might have had the advantage at some point there, but the push just sort of stalled out, and maybe they had too many leg mechs to move on. 228 got the upper hand and got the high ground. QQ just kind of got trapped around that corner, and that was it. Good job to both teams.
And, well, I must say, I am quite glad Twitch did not die.
As am I. I have been recording this locally just in case, but yeah, so heading over to map tactics here, I'm going to clear off the canvas and sketch out a nice last brawl. That was it was a good way to go out. I'm sad to see my home team eliminated, but you know, they put up a good fight. They gave us a good show. It was close, and whatever. What else can you ask for, right?
Technically, you could ask for one more game, at least. But they made this fourth match an excellent fight.
Definitely. And, you know, basically QQ showed up there in red, you know, streamed in. 228 sort of moved over here, and it just became sort of a shootout in the city. Honestly, it never really turned into the furball I thought it was going to. It was a very organized brawl. You know, they were almost trading in brawling range. They both stayed very much together. It was a very interesting, you know, really close range trading engagement, as sort of awkward as that is.
Well, I think that has a lot to do with how 228 set up. They set up in that B2 region that you circled, and they were waiting. They were already ready for QQ to come in. And QQ, I'm sure they saw that, and they didn't just attack directly and make it a furball, because they would have been just walking into the waiting arms of 228th. So instead, you know, QQ stood on the right and 228th stood on the left, and as QQ sort of tried to swing around, they were just whittled down. Those Novas just do so much DPS.
And even their alpha is incredibly impressive as well. You know, they're just all around, you know, a really deadly short range mech. But you know, as you can see up on the map, you know, they sort of change positions, and the final positions are sort of the colored in ones. Yep, there's a penis there too. Thank you, viewers. And yeah, basically QQ just sort of got trapped down in the low ground there, and there wasn't really any way they could get up without making like a concerted push. And I really think that mostly QQ's push just sort of stalled out right around here. And if they'd really, because 228 was fairly split, you know, they had some guys, you know, around here trading. I think they could have really collapsed hard on the guys that were sort of stuck up more in this area here, and had some more success. But, you know, it was a very organized brawl. It wasn't too decisive, but it definitely went into its favor pretty convincingly there at the end.
Yeah, I think it's a hard call. Would the bulk of the Thunderbolts be worth it to go into that and try to disrupt the what they had was a firing line of Novas, and you don't want to be standing in front of that. So it's a hard choice for QQ. Do you send in your Thunderbolts and try to split that up and then go from there? Or do you try to save the Thunderbolts and trade effectively? And whatever, like, yeah, whatever the answer was, 228th had it. Um, and they were able to use the. These are the Brawling Novas that we saw earlier that didn't get much use. They posted up in the same B2 region, waiting for QQ, and this time they got to use them.
You know, one thing I will say is looking at the scoreboard now that I'm watching this on replay, Storm Crows, the two Storm Crows were top damage on 228's team by a large amount. Those are those Street Crows, and they just shut some people the fuck down. You know, I think it was a great play to bring those Storm Crows as sort of a nice balance to counter the lights, and it might have been. You know, although that said, QQ's lights pulled off a lot. Marshall doing 412. That might have been top damage on the team. If not, it was pretty close. So.
Yeah, I think yeah, MS made a mistake with their drop deck when they brought exclusively Storm Crows. Yes, it would have been deadly if you get within 270 meters, but they didn't get within 270 meters on Tourmaline. They stood back with their Thunderbolts and they just pecked them down. But here, they didn't have that luxury because those Novas could have reached out, and I'm sure they did, and tried to lure them in, which I'm sure they did.
Yeah, it's absolutely true that, you know, they brought something that could trade more, and additionally, you know, this map just lends better to streaks in that you have cover in the buildings. You know, you can't kite like you can on Tourmaline because there just aren't the firing lines for it.
Well, you can kite if you go out into the water, but that's not where they posted up. If QQ would have cut down through B3 through Epsilon, they could have probably made it to the water. But then you have, what, 7 or 8 Novas that are looking at you in the water? Ooh, that's not a place where I want to be.
Yeah, no, I think that, you know, they did close to as well as they could have. I just think that they perhaps would have been better off really pushing that right side hard and being committed instead of, you know, trading as much as they did. I think that, you know, even with the Thunderbolts medium pulse lasers, it's mostly about like heat generation and that you're going to get more DPS, but that Nova I think is going to have the better alpha, so.
Oh yeah, Novas I would say hit harder than Thunderbolts, but they are notoriously fragile. You just saw legs popping off left and right on the Novas. I think QQ would have been better, like you said, if they would have pushed hard into the firing line and used the tankiness of those Thunderbolts to their advantage. Instead, they didn't.
Definitely. But I guess that was probably going to wrap it up for us. I guess we might as well do shout-outs and all those other good things. Thank you, PGI, for the prizes and all that stuff. Tina, especially, for helping getting everything organized and publicized and all of that, all the free mech bays and that kind of stuff. It's pretty awesome. Hope you continue to do that for other leagues in the future. Thank you to...
Thank you to both teams.
Oh yeah,
the games that we've seen throughout this entire tournament have just been spectacular.
Yeah, Mav had me read off the teams last time, and I'm going to do it again because I think that's good practice. All the teams that competed, thank you. You made this a good show. We got some fun out of this, and I hope everybody had fun competing. Phoenix Company, sorry. Isengrim, Seraphim Rising Storm, New Texas Mercenaries, Restless Adder, Apocalypse Lancers, Sticking-Off Commonality Armed Forces, Ransoms, Corsairs, Stratagame, Mercenary Corporation and Affiliates, Marine Mechs, Comstar Regulars, Deathhand Brigade, Nightwatch Mercenary, Coalition, Inferno Express, Mercstar Turret Drop, Second Federated Sons, Imperial, QQ Mercenary Corporation, 228th Black Watch, Antari Scorpion, Steel Jaguar, 228 Swamp Foxes, Clan Smoke Jaguar, and Mercstar Axis of Ignorance. Thank you all for playing. It has been awesome. I guess I should give a shout out to new followers on Twitch. Yeah, that's right. Need to clear out my email now. Loganaw13, Superbone1, Ninja Moose 234, Hulkins TV, Dragon 239, Oni Musashin, Poopinshire, Ghost MWO, Vopdig, Vorpal Sword, Scrandum, Neurotoxic MWO, Major Incarnate. Thank you all for following me.
But
Yeah, I'll try to provide you entertainment.
now, before we sign off, I think we have one more thing to do and tell these people what they're in for the next couple weeks, because these matches are going to be great. We just saw 228th Blackwatch. They're up against Clan Smoke Jaguar in the next round. Steel Jags are going up against Imperial. That's going to be an excellent game, and then the winner of those two matches are going to duke it out for the finals. It's just three great games over the
Definitely
next.
be.
When's the Steel Jag Imperial game?
Imperial Steel Jag will be this Sunday night, 9:30 Eastern Time. Be sure to tune in for that. I assume Smoke Jaguars versus 228th will actually be earlier in the week than that. I'll let you know as soon as they get it scheduled. Watch Outreach for that post. And yeah, it's going to be really good stuff. This is down to the money now. The top 4 teams are getting like a share of the big like $2,500 like winners pot, $2,700 and $2,750, something like that, where it's split between them. And so now this is real money. This is serious business. This is where MLMW stands out from all other tournaments that came before it. The cash prize. So these teams are going to be fighting like crazy. Imperial versus Steel Jaguar is going to be a real grudge match, and I'm excited to see how that goes. CSJ and Blackwatch both looking really good, so that's going to be another great match. Be sure to tune in for that. Thank you for tuning in today. Thank you, Army of One, for casting with me. It's always made it a lot easier. And
oh yeah, no
pretty
problem.
Awesome. So thanks, man.
And
anything else?
No, I think that's it. I think I'm after this, I'm gonna catch up on that Sony press conference.
Yeah, it's probably a good plan. Gonna go watch all of the stuff that I missed now. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will catch you later. All right, clear.